Tommy says, have you had any success generating leads for local businesses with YouTube ads? If so, can you share how? Yes, but more on an indirect basis than a direct basis. So just to be clear, it was about 2 years ago now. But I was trying to generate straight up leads for tree service contractors from YouTube ads alone. And I spent about $8,000 in 6 weeks or $6,000 in 8 weeks. I think it was $8,000 in 6 weeks. That on trying to dial in a campaign just to get my cost per lead down to cost per acquisition down to a reasonable rate that then I could sell that lead and still make a profit. And it was very difficult to do with YouTube ads, just like it's hard to do with Google search ads, because when you're selling a lead, the cost to generate a lead from Google search ads is freaking ridiculous for the most part, for tree guys anyways. So just to be kind of explain what I'm talking about here, with Google search ads in the Northern Virginia area, which is where I would run most of my campaigns, an average cost per click would say $55. And that's normal, like an average CPC for a click. Now, remember, a click does not mean a lead. Kind of a normal or an average conversion rate is 30 to 35%, which is actually pretty good. So that's 3 clicks to get 1 lead. So if it's $55 per click and you're paying for 3 clicks to generate 1 lead, that's $155 cost per acquisition. That's incredibly, as you can't monetize that on the, if you're selling leads, that's very different, unless you're selling the lead for $250. But I sell leads to tree service contractors for, $65, $75, $80, something like that, depending on the market, the area. So I can't really monetize search ads. I started to try to do it with YouTube ads and doing direct lead generation with YouTube ads. And I got it down to about $58 average cost per acquisition, but it's still very difficult to monetize that. So instead, what I found through that process, Tommy, to get back to your question, can I generate leads with YouTube ads for local businesses? Yes, but what I found works is to set up what I call branding campaigns, which is an indirect lead generation method, where you set up you create the ad, the video or videos. I think it works better if you have multiple videos to test with, and then you'll find that some of them perform better than others. So split test, but you make the video, then you set up the YouTube ad with the geographic targeting to where only people in a specific geographic area that you define will see the ad. And then you can also set up audience targeting. So in YouTube ads or in Google ads, there are segments, right? So you can go in and look at in-market segments. And so, for example, in-market segments, there's lawn and landscaping services or whatever, like lawn and garden services or whatever. And then in there, they have landscaping and lawn care type services. There's roofing, there's remodeling, there's things like that. And those in-market audiences are buckets of Google users that Google has defined or has identified are likely in market for whatever the category is, the in-market category that you selected. How does Google do that? Well, it takes people, because Google knows everything that we do all the time, right? For sure. So it takes people that have been searching for search queries that are related to that product or service recently, like in recent, like within the last week, within the last 10 days, whatever, in recent history, they've been searching for search queries that are related to that product or service. They've been visiting sites that are related to that product or service. They may have been visiting physical locations, right? Because Google's in our pocket, that are related to those products and services. So an in-market audience I found is really, really good audience to target with YouTube ads for a branding campaign, because those people are already, it's on their mind, or likely that it's on their mind, that they're in the market for that product or service that we have to offer. So let's get our brand in front of them, right? As much as possible. Another way you can do it, that's called an in-market segment. There's also life event segments. If you're in the real estate industry, there's like buying a new home, selling a home, or buying a house or selling a house. There's also getting divorced or getting married. There's also graduating college or going to college. So there's like these life event audiences that also work really well for indirect, or what I call branding campaigns. And then another one is custom segments. You can create a custom segment. Here's trick, guys. Here's a clue. This is a gold nugget for you guys. Go test this. Go do a search, Google Ads keyword planner, because remember, this is a Google ad we're talking about. So go to the Google Ads keyword planner and do searches for your primary product or service for the businesses that you serve in your agency, right? So the industries that you serve. Do a search for whatever their primary product or service is plus near me, and extract all of the near me search queries that are related to that industry, and all of them. I mean, you can have dozens, if not hundreds of them, and put all of those near me search queries that are relevant to that industry into one text file or whatever, a CSV or whatever. And that becomes your custom audience or custom segment keyword search query list that you plug in all of those, and you create a custom audience. It takes Google some time to fill that bucket with those people that you define in the audience that you define, but you set the criteria. You say, I want anybody that falls within this targeted area, this geographic area, that has searched for any of these near me search queries. I want you to populate or fill this bucket with those Google users. And so after you start that campaign, it goes through a learning process, but then you start to get ads being served to people that have just searched for tree service near me, tree trimming near me, tree removal contractor near me, tree trimming company near me, etc. You see what I'm saying? Stump grinding near me, all that. So those people are definitely in market. And those near me search queries are usually, that's somebody that is right at the buying stage, right? They're ready to make the purchase. So you can set up a YouTube ads campaign defining either using an in-market audience, a life event audience, or custom segment. And by the way, split test all of these guys to figure out which performs the best. But and then set up for like $1 to $2 per day in budget. That's all that you need. Now, again, if you're covering a very large geographic area, you might want to increase your budget. I mean, I've done it for clients for $5 per day, which is $150 a month. But generally, I run these campaigns for anywhere between $1 to $3 per day. That's $30 to $90 per month to run a branding campaign. And we just let it run indefinitely. Once we set it up and we kind of dial it in a little bit in the tree service industry, I already know it works, so I just duplicate those. It's super easy. But in other industries, I have to set it up and dial it in a little bit over the course of a month or 6 weeks. But it's easy to do with YouTube ads, and then you just let it run indefinitely for $1 to $3 per day for most local businesses. That's all that's needed to, and it really does work. Again, it's not to get a direct conversion notification in Google Ads. Like if you have your conversion tracking set up and everything, we get, it depends on the industry, because I do this for pest control, roofing, tree services, a landscaping company that I've done it for. I've also done it for septic tank pumping companies, believe it or not. And so we definitely get conversions. That's kind of all over the map as far as the cost per acquisition. But remember, a lot of the times these people will have seen the ad multiple times, and they'll just pick up the phone and call, or they'll go to Google and search for the company name and then click through Google search directly to, instead of clicking from the YouTube ad. So that's why I say it's an indirect lead generator, because you don't get a lot of direct conversions from the YouTube ad. But because you set up I do aggressive, what do they call it? Impressions, where I don't limit the impressions so that ad can be seen over and over and over again by the same people. And it's because I want that. I want to annoy them into calling, you know what I mean? Calling the business. So anyways, YouTube ads are I think a great way to, once a company already has leads dialed in, like they've got a consistent flow of leads coming in through SEO and through other channels, etc., then I think that's a great additional thing to upsell. What I pitch that to my clients as a branding campaign that is an indirect lead generator, and it works really, really well. And by the way, it's so much easier to create video ads now because of all the different apps out there that create videos. It's silly not to be out offering that as like an add-on service in your agency offerings, in my opinion.